Bonjour, bonjour tout le monde. Puisque vous avez parlé en français, le discours du secrétaire général est en anglais. Je vous remercie tous pour votre présence ici. Et maintenant, je veux lire le discours du secrétaire général, le secrétaire général Antonio Guterres. Dear friends, the 75th anniversary of the United Nations falls in the middle of a global pandemic. Our founding mission is more critical now than ever: to promote human dignity, protect human rights, respect international law, and save humanity from war. When the pandemic hit, I called for a global ceasefire. In a world today, we have one common enemy, COVID-19. Now it's time for a stepped-up push for peace to achieve a global ceasefire. The clock is ticking. We must also make peace with our planet. The climate emergency itself is a threat. We must mobilize the whole world, to reach carbon neutrality, net zero emissions of greenhouse gases by 2050. A growing number of countries and companies have already pledged to meet this goal. Around the world, we must do more to end human suffering from poverty, inequality, hunger, and hatred, and fight discrimination on the basis of race, religion, gender, or any other distinction. The months of pandemic have seen a horrific rise in violence against women and girls. We must build on progress. A remarkable global collaboration is underway for a safe, affordable, and accessible COVID-19 vaccine for all. The Sustainable Development Goals give us an inspiring blueprint for recovering better. We face colossal challenges. With global solidarity and cooperation, we can overcome them. That's what the United Nations is all about. On this anniversary, I ask people everywhere to join together. The United Nations not only stands with you, the United Nations belongs to you, and it is you, we the peoples. Together, let us uphold the enduring values of the United Nations Charter. Let us build on our advances across the decades. Let us realize our shared vision of a better world for all. Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Anne Encons, the representative of UNHCR I'm standing in for Mr. Were, Stephen Were Omahu, who is the WFP representative, who was standing in for Dr. Catherine Sozi, who is absent. She's a resident coordinator and humanitarian coordinator. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, I'm delighted to join you today to commemorate the UN Day that marks 75th anniversary of the United Nations and its founding charter. I'm very glad to be here for this momentous occasion in Ethiopia, one of the founding members of the United Nations and a staunch supporter of multilateralism. We are in the middle of a global pandemic, which is, above all, a human crisis touching every area of our lives, destroying livelihoods and weakening the foundations of peace in societies. COVID-19 is creating not only risks to our health, but to our economies and societies, and to our and our children's futures. Not since the United Nations was founded have we faced such a complex and multidimensional threat to global peace and security. As the Secretary General has observed, our founding mission is more critical today than ever. No single country or organization can address today's challenges alone. The pandemic has underscored the need for strengthened and renewed multilateralism that enables the international community to move ahead with a collective response in unity and solidarity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, to mark the 75th anniversary of the United Nations at the beginning of this year, the Secretary General launched the world's largest conversation around current global challenges. As part of this initiative, we asked people about their hopes, their dreams, and fears for the future, and about their expectations about international cooperation and for the United Nations in particular. Across regions, different ages, and social groups, respondents were broadly united in their priorities for the future. Amidst the current COVID-19 crisis, the immediate priority for most respondents was improved access to basic services, healthcare, safe water, sanitation, and education, followed by greater international solidarity and increased support to those who are hardest hit. Looking towards the future, the pressing and most urgent concerns are the climate crisis and the destruction of our natural environment. Other priorities noted include ensuring greater respect for human rights, setting conflicts, tracking poverty, and reducing corruption. When it comes to the perceptions of the United Nations, over 87% of respondents believe global cooperation is vital to deal with today's challenges and that the pandemic has made international cooperation more urgent. 6 in 10 respondents believe the United Nations has made the world a better place. Looking to the future, 74% of the United Nations as essential in tracking these challenges. However, respondents want the United Nations to change and innovate to be more inclusive of the diversity of actions in the 21st century and to become more transparent, accountable, and effective. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the message is clear. People are thinking big. They are also expressing an intense yearning for international cooperation and global solidarity. As we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the UN, we need to respond to their aspirations and realize their aims. The people are counting on us to meet the challenges of today and to make the world a better place. Yet, the UN cannot walk this road alone. Member states established the United Nations and thus have a duty to embrace it, nourish it, and provide it with tools to make a difference. In closing, I would like to salute all staff of the United Nations family in Ethiopia, past and present, for their dedication in bringing the ideals of the United Nations to life and on a daily basis. As we move forward, the timeless values of the UN Charter must remain our guide and unite us in strength. We, the peoples, as we celebrate the 75th birthday of the UN, let us reaffirm our commitment to a better and brighter future. I thank you.
So I would just like all of us, as we have heard from the Secretary General, we are celebrating the UN at 75 in a very difficult time. If there have been a group of staff that have helped us to, I think, live this time with a little bit more calm, go to bed feeling a little bit safer, wake up in the morning feeling a little bit more secure, knowing that in the afternoon, if ever there was a case of COVID, there was an organization in place to take care of it. It is a group of staff that have tirelessly come in every day in, day out. While most of us have stayed home or come in occasionally, they have had the obligation to be there because our families don't decide when they fall sick. We don't decide when we get COVID. And so they needed to know whether you were in Gambela, whether you were in Doloado, or whether you were in Addis, if you got sick, there was somebody in the UN who was going to pick up your call. If you were stressed and you needed to talk, there was somebody in the UN family that was going to pick up your call. If you forgot your car in the parking lot, there was somebody who was going to let you into the ECA building to pick up your car. And so I really want to thank this group of staff, our health service community. All of them are not here today with us because some of them are working, but some of them are also taking a rest. But in their names, for those of you who are here today, I just want to say thank you from the Secretary General, from the Deputy Secretary General, and from all of the UN staff in Ethiopia. Thank you so much for helping to ensure that we were able to live this period, knowing that we had facilities, we had the Silk Road, we had the Get Fund, we had the hand sanitizers that were coming and didn't come, that we had the masks. It seems very easy when you come to the office and you find it, but you don't know, I think, the effort that goes into making sure that it is there and that it happens. Across the UN, the staff community that has been the most affected by COVID has been our SS staff, including in Ethiopia. And so we also want to take the time to say thank you to them, because many of them have been sick and they've come back to work. Many of them have been sick, their families have been sick, they've gotten better and they've come back to work. And so I really want to say thank you to them, but also to then ask all of us when we see them to remember to say thank you, in addition to saying let me in, say thank you as well, because they have been for us, I think, the strength of ensuring that the UN continues to function as the Secretary General has wanted throughout this crisis. So once again, please stand up and join me in thanking them for all the service that they have given us.
Thank you. The last one we look for all the staff. Please, join one photo for the final photo. accept the Greeks accept the